Hey, this is Vu, and today I'm going to be talking about rotations and rotation timings. This is something a lot of players have problems with because they either don't know when or how to effectively rotate, which leads to them either rotating too early, too late, or in a weird way which can negatively affect their teammates. Now, going right into it, it's important to note there are two attributes that nearly every good rotating team will have. First, they'll have good communication, and second, they'll actually know what a rotate is. Too many teams and players I've found tend to think that a rotate involves moving one player from one end of the map on the yellow brick road rotate all the way to the other end of the map. Unless the enemy team is rushing that site, generally that's just crazy. A standard map shift or rotation will involve, for example, moving one player from A over to middle and one player from middle over to B. That way you've shifted control of the map so you're stronger on B site, however you still have full map control and you can easily rotate back into the original setup if nothing happens at that site. Now, as for which players should be rotating, it's important to note again that there are two play styles at any site where you have two players. There's going to be the site anchor and there's going to be the site rotator. The site anchor is going to be set up deep in the site and he's only going to rotate if the enemy team or bomb is committed to the other bomb site and they can't possibly still be faking. The site rotator is going to show up early, throw some smokes and flashes to either stop a rush or allow his anchor to get set up, and then he's either going to rotate off immediately or he's going to delay and wait for any noise elsewhere and then quickly rotate off. There are different sites where either of these are applicable. Somewhere like Inferno at Banana, the site rotator is going to stay in CT ready to rotate off if the arch side player needs help, but he stays until something happens. At a place like A here on cache, you will most of the time in most setups be rotating off after you've held the rush early, and that's completely standard. Now there's one other thing the site anchor or rotator can do, and that's go aggressive. Now whether or not you want to go aggressive relies mainly on your playstyle, this part of the map that you're playing, and your team. If your team is not really comfortable holding their sights and you found that they die quite often, going aggressive is a great way to either get quick rotates or quick flanks, which is just another way to rotate. So you can have both your site anchor and rotator go aggressive towards your area and try to set up aggressively so that one player can rotate all the way off instead of rotating somewhere like Speedway, which is half rotating off. Or they can push through and get that quick flank going. A lot of high-level teams will do those quick flanks, and that's incredibly effective, especially in solo queue, where your team might be weak towards the other side of the map, and you really have to carry them. So for example, you can come here in A main, throw a flash in, spot either nobody or one or two, get a kill, and then either rotate off, or you can start to push through if nobody's there. It can be incredibly effective as a rotate. Now, as for the players towards the middle of the map, this is an important spot because you are basically towards the middle of the map for map control, to get frags, and to be a quick rotator. So when you should be rotating from the middle is generally in areas or situations where your team no longer needs you to get frags in the middle, or you need to rotate because your team's getting pressured, or it's starting to get late into the round. Now, on a map like Cache, you're going to need to hold on to middle even if it's late into the round, but of course you want to be quick rotating if anything happens on the other side of the map. However, in spots like ramp or outside on nuke where you're not playing a site but you are holding an area, later on in the round it's generally great to be rotating off and stacking towards a site. This is not applicable on every map, but maps like I said, like Nuke, or there are a few other maps where this is applicable, that can actually work out where you just start to abandon these spots like middle because they don't need you there late in the round, you're just a liability. Now, rotating from middle should be fairly straightforward. When you rotate, the reason you need communication is, for example, if the opper in middle rotates from Z and he wants to go B, the most important thing here is say, hey A guys, I'm rotating, someone switch over, help support middle, otherwise you're going to get flanked and you're going to get screwed. And that's the importance of communication there, and communicating when you're rotating or communicating to your rotator is easily the most important bit of being a good rotator or even just being a good site anchor. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped.